Hi fellow fashion designers, you're welcome to this tutorial. This is a smoky thread, and this is one of the dresses, for those of you that are doing mass production, you're into ready to wear dresses. If you want to make a lot of money this year, this is one of the designs you need to make in your store, because there's no issue about your clients complaining that, oh, the dress is tight or the armhole is this, is that. Watch to the end if this tutorial is what interests you. Let's get started.
I'm using this fabric for the smoky dress, and there's going to be a waist length smoky, then the down part will be a flare. This is the smoky thread I got. This, a smoky thread is a thread that stretches. Now, the reason why I can use this is because it's going to be inside. If you're sewing a smoky dress, this is the thread that will be showing on the upper part, while the smoky will be at the down part. So I think I'm going to be using this color. Normally, I'm supposed to get a matching color, either this onion or this deep dark green, but I did not get the exact color for the smoky thread. How do you cut your fabric for smoky? You're going to cut excess. You don't just cut the same body measurement. If you cut it, because smoky is something that tightens, whatever you are sewing. So you need enough fabric to be able to accommodate your body. The bust of this person is a bust of 46 inches. The length of this dress is a length of 60. So, and it's going to be a tube off shoulder with a sleeve. Now, if the length for this person if the half length is 20 inches, I'm going to be minusing 4 inches from it. The 4 inches is for the upper part, because it's going to be something like a tube, and it doesn't have shoulder. So I'm minusing 4 inches from it. Then the 4 inches minus 20, we have 16 inches. I'll add half inch for joining it to the down part. That is 16 and a half. Then I'm going to add 1 inch for folding the upper part before we smoke this. So that will be 17 and a half inches. So let me cut 17 and a half inches. Then the remaining one will be for the down part and for the sleeve. Now, this is a 3 yards fabric. I'm actually going to manage it. If I want to, so normally you're supposed to use 4 yards for this because of the person's length and because of the sleeve also, but I have a 3 yards fabric here, so I'm going to be managing the 3 yards.
I've finished cutting the upper part for the smoky. So the length I cut is a length of 17.5. Then the width, that's the wideness, how wide it is the client's bust measurement plus 15 inches.
Now the next thing I'll do is to take it to the sewing machine, and I'm going to sew this upper part here. I'll be folding it into 2, or you can fold it one time. I'll fold like this. So let me fold, then I'll come back and show you guys. After turning it, look at it from the inside. Now I had to use I ironed it after sewing so that it can be smooth. Now the next thing is for us to now use the smoky thread. So let's go to the machine together so you see how I'm going to sew. Now if you're going to sew your smoky thread, I'm going to start from this line. This is this line here, the turning line. I'm going to start from there. Then after that, I'll now be giving it space of half inch in between, half inch in between. So let's go and sew together. You take an empty reeler and you're going to reel it the same way you reel a thread. Now I'm not using the machine to reel it because you have to be very careful when reeling this. Then you just start putting it inside. Use your hand to reel. When you are reeling, don't make it too tight. You have to be patient about it. So you keep using your hand to reel. Don't make it too tight and don't make it too loose. So when you reel and it's almost full, you're going to leave it. Look at it. Then you take your bobbin, the same way you fix, the same way you put your thread, that's why you put it. So you're going to put it inside here and you stretch it and you put it inside here. Now look at it. So you put it inside your machine. Now that is the only one that you're going to put under. Your sewing thread have to be on top. It is just the smoky that will be under. Like I told you, I'm going to sew the first one on this line, on the sewing line, the one I used to turn it. So I'm bringing the smoky out now. Look at it, it is out already. So you place it and you sew. So start sewing. Can you see that the way I'm sewing is stretching? Now don't worry, the first one might not stretch much. It is when you are sewing other ones that you see that it will stretch very well. Now if you feel that this space here is too much for you, like you don't want it to be too much, you can sew one again on after, before the first sewing I'm doing now. You can choose to sew one on top again if you feel this space here is too big. So now finish sewing the first one. We are going to sew the second line now. So I'm going to give it a space of ½ inch. Now we're going to sew the fourth one.
That's how you keep sewing. You keep sewing it, guys. Just keep sewing till you get to the, to the last part. So that is me trying to sew. I'm just trying to make this video very fast because this process is a very long process. You just need to be patient about it. And on YouTube you can post longer videos. You guys will get tired of watching it. So I'm just trying to make everything fast, guys. I'm almost done with the smoky thread. It is easy to make, it is not difficult. The only thing is just the time.
So can you see it? This is what I have. Now the next thing I'll be doing is I'm going to just turn it like this and sew 1 inch. That would serve as our zip allowance. So I'm going to sew. You can sew ½ inch, you can sew 1 inch. It depends on what you want to do. Then after that, we are going to draft the sleeve because it's going to have a sleeve. So let me sew the zip allowance, then I'll show you guys. This is the zip allowance of 1 inch. So when you turn it to the other side, you have something like this. You have something like this. Now, if you're sewing it as a top, just top, this length is okay. But if you're attaching something to it, like you're making a dress, you're attaching it to, this is the half cut, you're attaching it to the skirt part, or I feel this is very long because when you wear it, it stretches. So if I'm to minus 4 inches from it like this, what I have here is 18 inches. Normally 18 inches is supposed to, in fact this client's half length is 19.5 because our under bust is 16.5 inches. So if I'm to add ½ inch sewing allowance, that would be 20 inches. But because it is a smoky, it tends to stretch. So when I put it on and I tried it, I realized that it is very long. So if you are to do anything smoky, always minus 2 inches. If your half length is 18 inches, make the smoky, the length of your, of your half cut, minus 2 inches from it. Whatever that is your half length, minus 2 inches from it. So I'll be cutting 2 inches off this because it is very long. So what I have here is 18.5. So by the time I remove 2 inches from 18.5, I will have, so this is the 2 inches. I'm going to be cutting off these two inches from it. I'll just mark it like this, then I'll cut off this. I'll cut off these 2 inches. Now I've cut out this part. I don't need it. So this is what I'm going to be using. Let's cut the sleeve. So I'm going to measure from here because we are attaching sleeve to it. So from this upper part, I'll go down by 1.5. I'll go down by 1.5. Then from the side, I'm going to go in by 2 inches. The width is 2 inches, the depth is 1.5. I'll do the same thing. Make sure it's at the middle. So this is the middle. Now on this side, I'll also, the width, I'm going to do 2 inches. Then the depth, I'm going to do 1.5. So just curve it together. This, the way you see me doing like this, curve it also. Now you can choose to fold it like this and cut the two together, or you can just choose to cut it separately. So let me cut separately. Okay, I've cut this side and I'm going to cut this side also. Guys, now this is what we have. Can you see the shape? So let's draft the sleeve now. Now this sleeve is folded into 4. You can see it is folded. I folded it this way. This is how it is looking like. You fold like this. Then you fold again into 2. Now because the sleeve is going to have an elastic band at the upper part, I'm going to be marking 1.5 upward this way. Then I'll rule it. Let me do it 2 inches, guys. I'm just going to be marking 2 inches instead of 1.5. Now after this, let's measure the length of the sleeve. I'm going to be using 16 inches because this down part also, we are still going to put elastic also at this down part, but this part will be small elastic. You can choose to put small elastic here. It depends on what you want. Okay, so this is the total length of the sleeve. I will use 13.5 here, 13.5, then 13.5. So let's rule it. Okay, soulmate, you're going to take your top, your smoky, and you're just going to be curving it. Let's start from this 2 inches here. This is the part we fold because we are also going to fold here. So you're going to place it, the folded part, just place it on this line here. Then you cut like this. When you get to that folded part, then just curve it like that. Then here, you're going to take it straight down. your elastic folding should be 1.5 or 1 inch. It depends on how you normally fold your elastic. This part is going to be small elastic, while this part is going to be big elastic. So let me just cut here open so that we can have about 2 sleeves. So after this, guys, you're going to notch here. You're going to notch here because so that when you are sewing it, you will know how you are going to fold. So let me just increase this part a bit because here is stretchy, so whatever you have here can actually accommodate here. So let's measure it. Let's measure from this part, from this folded, not from the upper part, from this place. Let's measure what we have. I have 7 inches here. That would be 3.5. So let's see, I have 3.5 here. If I'm going to sew ½ inch, that means I need to increase it to 4 inches. So let's increase it to 4 inches. So just come down. I hope you understand what I did. I'm trying to get a straight line here. So notch this part. So do you see? Notch this part. Guys, we have 2 sleeves now. One, two. Now this part, this upper part here, you're going to fold a little, then you fold again. So when you fold, you can see the notch part. It's to show you how you are stopping. Then if you don't want to fold into 2, you can weave up here, then you fold once, but that will be too big. So just sew a little, then you fold again to meet the notch part. So you're going to do the same thing for the 2 sleeve. Then this place also, you're going to fold into 2, and you fold. Now you're going to increase this one because we don't need very big folding here, because here we are putting small elastic here. So you're going to fold like this. So I will do that for these 2 sleeve. Guys, this is the elastic I got, the big one and the small one. Now this big one, I'm going to do something because it's too big for what I want. I'm just going to be cutting out of it. You can decide to use the small one if you don't want a big space like this, or you can still use the small one, but this is just me, my preference. I'm just going to be cutting out of it. Let me cut 9 inches so that you can do 8 inches if you are slim, and you can do 9 inches if you are on the big side. So let's put it. I'm going to be using my pin to just hold here so that it doesn't fall off. Then I'll remove the pin. Also do here and use your pin to hold it. Then the next thing you do is to just sew here, tack it together, then you sew here. So when you sew, you can now stretch it. Now for the down part, let's use the small elastic. So you're going to be putting it inside the down one. So I'm removing it and I'm using my pin to hold it. Now this other part will be bigger, it will be wider. So I'm just going to push it in and see, just feel it if it is okay for you. So if it is okay, then you cut it off. And I'm also going to use pin to hold it so that it doesn't go inside. Then you sew here and you sew the other side. I will now fold it this way and I will sew 1/2 inch. So let me do that for the 2 sleeve. I've joined the sides together. Now this is the upper part and this is the down part. So when you turn it, you have something like this. Now this is the armhole side. So we're going to be attaching it to this one. So you take one of the sleeve, and this is the armhole. This is the upper part of the sleeve. So you take it and you start sewing. You sew till you get to the second side. The second one also, you do that. Now soulmates, at this junction, if you enjoyed this tutorial, kindly give me a like, and if you've not subscribed, subscription is free, guys. Subscription is free. Subscribe to my channel and also turn on the bell. You see a bell by the subscribe button. Click that bell so that anytime I upload a new video, you'll be the first person to know. So look at it. I'm going to sew here, and I'm also going to sew here. That way we have something like this, and the next thing to do is to draft the down part. So stay, guys, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. This is it. I have sewed the armhole and I've also weaved it. I sew and I weave. So this is what we have. I am going to be folding this into 2. We're going to be cutting it like an A line. It is not enough for me to cut a 180 degree. Yeah. So I'm going to be cutting it like an A line. Then I will increase the waist measurement so that I can have pleats. The waist measurement is 40. That's my client's waist measurement. It is 40. I'm going to be adding, that's 40 divided by 4. We have 10. Yeah. So I'm going to be adding 5 inches to it. That is 15. So on this upper part here, I will measure 15 inches. So you're going to rule the 15 inches like this. On this down part here, I'm going to measure 25 inches. And I'm also going to indicate the 25 inches that way. I'll take my ruler and I will connect it from this 15 to the 25 inches down there. Now this is what I have. I'm going to be cutting it. Before I cut, let me just pin it down so that I will use it and cut the back side. I'm going to cut the back. Now watch how I'm managing this fabric. I will shift it like this. So this side will now be the upper part and this side will be the down part. That's why I said I am doing fabric management. So this excess is going to be the zip allowance. So I'm just going to rule it all the way down. From this upper part here, I'm going to measure 10 inches. So this is the 10 inches here. Then I will notch it. I'm going to go up by 7.5. So indicate your 7.5 this way, and also notch the 4 pieces together. So this and this part here is going to be for pockets. So guys, this is what we have. Now I'm going to cut the pocket now, because I'll be joining the pockets before we close everything up. I have this fabric for the pocket. Look at it. It is folded into 2. After folding into 2, I am still going to be folding it into 4. Those of you that have watched my last tutorial on the bubu kaftan that has the neck design, you already know what I'm doing. So we are cutting 4 pieces for pockets. So guys, now I'm going to measure 8 inches from this starting line. This is the 8 inches. 8 inches. Okay, so you're just going to place your hand this way as if you're putting your hand inside a pocket. You know, pocket is something that goes down on your body. So put your hand like something that is going down like this, then just trace it. Just trace like this. You trace like this. Can you see? Now watch the way I am cutting it. So can you see the shape? It is going like this. So this place here, just notch this 4 here, up here, so that you will know that this place is the part that is up and this straight part is down. Let me trim here a bit. It is pointy. Okay guys, like I said, notch these 4 pieces up here together. When you are joining it, you know that here is up and here is down. Now the next thing you do is to divide it into 2, because we need 4 pieces. Okay, soulmates, this is our pocket. Now you're going to take your fabric. Let me drop the pocket, and I want to go to the sewing machine and join the zip allowance before we attach our pockets. I've sewn the zip allowance. Now let's fix the pockets. Now these are the 4 pockets. So we're going to be attaching it on this, the hip notch and the upper notch. So you're going to take one piece and you face it right side to right side. Now remember, I notched the up one, so that will give you a guide, so as not to put where you're supposed to put at the down part on the up part. So look at it now. This is it, right side to right side. Then you place it on this hip notch, then this other one on the upper notch. Now this is the other notch, so this indicates the one that is facing up. So I'm just going to be pinning it then before I sew. Okay, I've pinned one side. I'll pin the other side. Now this is the upper notch, so it's going to face this way, right side to right side also. Now this is the front, so let's take the back piece and also pin the pocket. I'm going to be sewing here with 0.25 or ½ inch. You can do half or 0.25. I will also sew here, then I will sew the other one. Guys, I'm done sewing the pocket, so let me remove the pins. So this is it. This is how it's going to be. Let me remove the 4 pins. The next thing is to sew the sides with ½ inch. So I'm going to place the front and the back together, right side to right side. So let's join it. Now these are the sides, so you're going to join here with ½ inch. Then your pocket is going to come like this. So you join here with ½ inch like this. When you get to this part here, you come like this, ½ inch, then you sew here with ½ inch this way. You come like this, you sew, then you go here, ½ inch, then you join the remaining one straight down with ½ inch. After that, I will iron the sides, then we join it to the upper part. This is it. I've joined the sides together, and the pockets, look at it, look at what I was talking about. Now pocket is easy to make, it is not difficult. So look at it, then look at the second one. Now I'm going to turn it to the right side. Then the next thing, we're almost done with this tutorial, guys. The next thing to do, can you see the waist? The waist is very big because we added some inches to the waist measurement. Now what we will do now is, you're going to lose this zip side, just lose it a bit. I'm going to run a gather stitch on this to the actual waist measurement of 40 inches. I'm going to be dragging it now. So you're going to take this and start sewing from the back, like right side to right side, the zip allowance. So you're going to place it like this, and I'm going to sew everything all the way to the other zip allowance with 1/2 inch. Guys, after attaching this upper part to the down part, you can see the way it is very fine. I'm going to be putting zip. I'll be fixing an invisible zip on it, so I'll lose this part. You can use any zip you want. I just want to use invisible zip. Fold the down part. I'll just hem it a little, just small. Then after that, this tutorial is done. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'll see you all in my next video, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Bye.